Hello, my name is Valeria Armenta, and welcome back to my final episode of my leadership podcast. In today's episode, I will be talking about the leadership concepts that I have applied after learning from these last few chapters in this course, and just talking about how I've been applying them in my work and at school. So one of the biggest concepts that I have learned and taken away from chapter 12 was team leadership. I learned that a team is just not about a group of people, but a group that is interdependent and working towards a shared goal. And I saw this in my social media marketing group project. At first, we were in the forming stage, and during this stage, everything felt unclear. There was confusion and there was a lot of doubts, and after that we moved into the storming stage where we still had some disagreements with some ideas. But before this chapter, I would see this as a problem, but now I totally understand that it is a form of growth. It represents personal growth, and so I've taken this those two stages during groups and forming groups that is one of the most important stages. And as long as we keep working together and we push through those stages, we reach the norming and performing stage, and this is where communication is improved and performance is improved, and just this is when everything starts to flow together and work together. And just learning this has helped me become more patient and better at working overall with different personalities, different ideas. It is something I am going to take away definitely from this course, is just the reminder that it is normal, and it is that those two stages are part of the growth and the success that the group will have. So yeah. And so my next big thing that I took away from chapter 13 was followership. This changed my perspective on leadership overall, just understanding and realizing that leadership is not only about leading, but it's also how you show up as a follower. I think in many cases, in a group, you kind of bounce from leader and being a leader and then from them being a follower. I think having a balance between both of those things is very important. And just showing up as a follower and being a good follower, being able to contribute by sharing ideas, and most importantly, supporting others as a follower. I think a follower has a huge role, and there's that connotation of, especially when someone wants to be a leader, or leadership is seemed to be stronger or superior, we do tend to forget the importance that followers actually do have, and the importance of the how much they contribute, how much they contribute to a organization, a company, and how much they really help out a leader. And so I really did, it did overall change my whole perspective on leadership in the best way, because not only do I want to be the best leader, but I want to be the best follower as well, to contribute. Another key takeaway was how I see myself as a more relational based, because I focus on communication and I focus on how people interact. And when I am, placed in a group or I get a new job, whether it be, wherever, I just focus more on people than my role. And in my group, I always try and make people feel included, and I always make them feel comfortable to share ideas, and I want them to get to know me, and I want to build, relationships and connections. And so one of the biggest key takeaways was how leadership is built on connection and just not authority. If I ever do, when I do create an environment where I am a leader and I have followers, that is a big aspect and it's a big thing that I want to establish with my followers. And yeah, it's about relationships, it's about communication, and it's about interactions between people. and I think it's a very important concept to know and understand and try and accomplish. From chapter 14, I've applied social identity leadership, especially in both my group school project for my marketing class and my job as a marketing coordinator for the roofing company. I learned that leadership is about creating a sense of us. I especially do apply this at work because I'm making sure that our content reflects our company and our company's values and identity, and hoping to connect that with the audience as well. And in my group for school, I focused on supporting the team. I encouraged participation, and I overall helped create a positive environment for all of us. But with this, I have been applying the 3 R's, which is reflecting by listening, representing by supporting the group, and realizing by helping things get done. And so just using those 3 R's and learning about them have been very helpful in my school marketing project. And for chapter 15, a very interesting key takeaway that I learned about was inclusive leadership. And this one is a very important one for me because a big thing that I stand for and believe is inclusion, diversity, belonging, and accepting everyone's uniqueness. These are all beliefs that I have that I hope that I can take with me in my career. And when I do have my own brand, that is just going to be a priority in shaping my company, our company culture, and just client relationships. Being inclusive is a big focus on how we lead, how we hire, and just serve our community overall. And so, I learned that diversity is the what and inclusion is the how. And it just, at my job, I've already applied this because I understand how inclusion matters when thinking about different audiences. And so inclusion that I have seen with, and I've applied with my group project members, is how, I realized that we all have different ideas, different perspectives, and we all have different ways of expressing those ideas and levels of, comfortability of how, of sharing ideas. And so I always make the effort, and now I'm definitely, that I understand it more, I make it an effort to include those who struggle with sharing and participating, or just with anxiety or whatever personal issues. I make sure to analyze and then include them in the process, because everyone's different and everyone has a different personality at the end of the day. And so I think as a leader, it is important to know your audience, know your followers, try and understand them, and then with that information, see how you can encourage participation and encourage them to feel comfortable, and just overall everyone being able to share and be included. I've done this with my school projects, and I've noticed the quality of our project, and I've noticed the quality of overall, like, our success as a group. And at my job as well, inclusion matters when as a marketing coordinator for my roofing company, because I'm constantly thinking of the different audiences, and I've become more aware of how marketing should connect with the variety of people. A marketing coordinator is to make everyone feel represented and seen, and include everybody. Everybody with roofing, everyone has a roof, but audiences, come in different ages and genders and cultures, and it's a lot, so just being able to properly deliver that message to everyone and everyone's represented is very important to me. And yeah, that overall, that is why inclusive leadership was very interesting to me, and I really did enjoy that chapter. Overall, a really interesting theory that I learned was the optimal distinctiveness theory. This one stood out to me because it explains how people want to feel like they belong, but they want to maintain their uniqueness. And I agree with that. I agree with that because I do that myself. I, love to feel included, and I want to belong to a group that I am a part of, or at my job I want to be included, but I like to maintain my individuality and my uniqueness. I want to still, have my own sense. I don't want to fully blend in or lose, that uniqueness of me for whatever reason. It could be because it's, what you need to do, or you're scared or whatever, but that theory was very interesting and it stood out. And I've seen this in both my group and my job. When people feel included but also value for their unique ideas, they overall feel more confident, and they feel more confident and contribute more to the group. I have definitely noticed that, and I see and I understand the importance of it. And so, yeah. And just a few skills that I have developed in these, from these past few chapters that I have learned would be definitely communication has been a big one. I've improved and have stronger communication and listening skills, better understanding of team dynamics. That's another one for sure. Being more confident in contributing ideas. I've noticed that. Not just these past few chapters, but this whole semester in this course, I have definitely seen how much I've improved in being a leader, because I was I had my insecurities, and I wasn't, very knowledgeable. I didn't have a lot of knowledge behind leadership, and that made me feel insecure, and that made me feel like I could not be a leader. And honestly, after this course and everything I've learned, I have seen how much I've improved as a leader in my work at in my school projects, and overall as a person. I've definitely become more confident in contributing ideas, more confident in leading, because of everything I've learned. And yeah, I'm just very, very excited overall, very grateful that I took this class. I'm very grateful that I took this class. And another one would be being more inclusive. I've always been inclusive, but being more aware of other people's perspectives and allowing them to be heard and acknowledged. And another big skill that I have been applying from these chapters has been being more inclusive and aware of other people's perspectives. That's a really big one. I've always been very inclusive. It's always something. It's been a thing because of my own experiences in life. I always told myself the importance of that, but just I've been applying it more, definitely in the sense of perspectives. I think being open to different perspectives, and even sometimes, if I don't agree, or majority of the people don't agree in the group, I think still listening and trying to understand and including those perspectives, because at the end of the day, you never know, what works and what doesn't, ever. You might think something will work, or you might think this is the way, but you just never know. And I think everyone is smart. Everyone has their own talents and their own ideas, and I think they're all important. And so yeah, being inclusive is a big skill that I've been applying after these few chapters, and I will continue to apply. But yeah, overall, just applying these leadership concepts in my real life situations, just not like writing them down in my journal and never applying them. I think all of these theories I've have been developing. And so to wrap it all up, to wrap up my final episode, my key takeaways have been, first, that leadership is not about being in charge. It's about creating a connection and a sense of we. Second, leadership is shared. Being a strong follower is very important, and just as important as being a leader. And third, the best leaders create environments where people feel included, while still being able to be themselves. So yeah, those were my key takeaways. And overall, this course has really changed how I see leadership, and I will forever be grateful to this class and everything I've learned, and even my podcasts, because I've seen a huge amount of growth in myself as a leader, and the knowledge that I, from the very first episode where everything just was very scary and new to me, all these concepts and theories, but it's all just, clicking, and it all makes sense. And this is knowledge and skills and theories that I will be applying forever in my career. And I'm just very grateful that I chose this class, and I get to see these episodes, and I have these to look back on if I need to remember something. And I now focus on collaboration and inclusion and relationships in both my academic and in my role as a marketing coordinator, and in my future roles as a businesswoman that I want to be. And so I really appreciate you, and thank you for listening to my final podcast episode. And yeah, my name is Valeria Armenta, and I really appreciate your time. Bye.